The strike one pitch. He tries to bunt his way aboard and fouls it at the plate. Jim, what would a pitcher's scouting report on Cooney say?
Fernando Valenzuela's injury remains one of the most puzzling mysteries in MLB history. The incident sparked debates, speculation, and countless theories, yet the truth stayed just out of reach. To this day, the shadow of that injury lingers, a dramatic chapter in the career of one of baseball's most iconic figures. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit that like button. After struggling through a string of lackluster performances, the Dodgers made a surprising announcement. Fernando Valenzuela, their beloved star pitcher, was dealing with a torn rotator cuff. For many fans and baseball insiders, the timing of this revelation seemed suspicious. They couldn't help but wonder if the team was using the injury as a convenient excuse to send Valenzuela down to the minor leagues, a move that shocked and disappointed many who still saw him as a central figure on the team. The story didn't end there. Valenzuela himself publicly pushed back against the Dodgers' claims, insisting that his injury wasn't as severe as they made it out to be. His denial sparked widespread debate and even a sense of betrayal among fans. Why would the team exaggerate the condition of one of their most cherished players? Did the Dodgers have other motives? Was this truly about his health, or was it an attempt to sideline him without admitting they had lost faith in their star? The disagreement between Valenzuela and the team played out like a soap opera in the public eye. On one side, you had a pitcher who had given everything to the game, insisting he could still compete at the highest level. On the other side, you had the management, pointing to medical reports and claiming they were acting in his best interest. The whole situation cast a shadow over the Dodgers' handling of their star, leaving fans to question whether the team was protecting Valenzuela or protecting their own agenda. Another moment of controversy in Fernando Valenzuela's career came during the 1994-95 Major League Baseball strike, a tense and bitter chapter in the sport's history. At the time, players across the league had come together to stand firm against team owners, fighting for better working conditions and fair treatment. The strike halted the season, leaving fans without baseball and players locked in a battle to protect their rights. Amid this tense standoff, Valenzuela made a decision that shocked many. He crossed the picket line. While most players chose to stay united with the union, Valenzuela stepped onto the field, breaking rank with his fellow athletes. It was a move that didn't go unnoticed. For some fans and teammates, it felt like a betrayal of the solidarity that had been the backbone of the players' fight. Critics accused him of undermining the union's efforts, questioning his loyalty to the collective cause. To them, it seemed as though he had turned his back on the shared struggle for better pay, improved conditions, and respect for players' rights. But Valenzuela's decision wasn't so simple. To others, it may have reflected personal pressures or a complex view of the strike itself. Still, the choice added a layer of tension to his career and his relationships in the league. While some fans forgave him or tried to understand his perspective, others couldn't shake the feeling that their hero had let them down. Even years later, the decision remains a topic of heated debate, with some seeing it as a misstep in an otherwise legendary career, while others view it as a complicated moment that revealed the personal challenges athletes often face behind the scenes. While Fernandomania was a thrilling and unforgettable chapter in baseball history, it wasn't without its challenges, especially for Fernando Valenzuela himself. The phenomenon, which swept through the sport like wildfire, turned the young pitcher into an instant superstar. Fans packed stadiums to see him, and his every move was covered by reporters. From his unique pitching style to his calm demeanor on the mound, Valenzuela became the center of attention almost overnight. But with all that love and excitement came an incredible amount of pressure. The media frenzy around Valenzuela was constant, with newspapers, TV broadcasts, and magazines endlessly hyping him up. For a player so young, this level of scrutiny could be overwhelming. Every pitch, every game, and every interview was analyzed and dissected, with expectations climbing higher and higher. Fans wanted him to win every game, throw every strike, and keep delivering those magical performances that had made him a household name. Some observers began to question whether all this attention was fair. They argued that the media was building him up too much, putting him on a pedestal that no one, no matter how talented, could realistically stay on forever. Others worried about the weight of those expectations. How could a young player, still finding his way in the major leagues, be expected to carry the hopes and dreams of an entire fan base? For Valenzuela, it must have been a double-edged sword. On one hand, he was adored like few players ever were, with fans chanting his name and wearing his jersey. On the other hand, he was under constant pressure to live up to the Fernandomania image that had been created around him. It was a lot for anyone to handle, and while he remained composed on the outside, the scrutiny had to have taken a toll. Looking back, it's clear that while Fernandomania brought joy to millions, it also placed a heavy burden on the shoulders of one extraordinary young player. The baseball world was struck with sadness on October 1st, 2024, when it was revealed that Fernando Valenzuela had been hospitalized due to an undisclosed illness. At first, there were few details, leaving fans worried but hopeful for good news. However, shortly after, reports emerged that the beloved Dodgers legend was battling liver cancer. The announcement sent a wave of concern and heartbreak through the community that had cherished him for decades. The Dodgers organization confirmed the news the next day, stating that Valenzuela would not be returning to the broadcast booth for the remainder of the season. They explained that he needed to focus on his health, a sentiment that resonated with fans who only wanted to see their hero recover. Messages of support poured in from across the country as players, fans, and fellow broadcasters expressed their love and admiration for Valenzuela during such a difficult time. Sadly, just a few weeks later, on October 22, 2024, Valenzuela passed away in a Los Angeles hospital at the age of 63. The loss came just 3 days before the start of the 2024 World Series, a matchup between the Dodgers and their historic rivals, the New York Yankees. The timing made the loss even more poignant, as it felt as though the game itself had lost a piece of its heart. For Dodgers fans, Valenzuela wasn't just a former player or broadcaster. He was a symbol of hope, joy, and unity. From the heights of Fernandomania to his later years as a steady presence in the broadcast booth, he had been a constant source of pride for the team and its fans. His death left a void that was felt deeply, not just in Los Angeles, but throughout the baseball world. As the World Series began, many couldn't help but feel that the game was missing one of its brightest stars, a man who had brought so much magic to the sport and whose legacy would forever be a part of its history. Valenzuela's journey to baseball stardom began in humble yet promising circumstances in 1977 when he signed with the Mayos de Navajoa of the Mexican Pacific League. Just a teenager at the time, Valenzuela showed flashes of his remarkable talent, setting the stage for what would become a legendary career. The following year, he was sent to the Guanajuato Tuzos of the Mexican Central League. There, he began to build his reputation as a young pitcher with incredible potential, posting a 5-6 win-loss record and an impressive 2.23 earned run average. It was clear Valenzuela was a rising star, but few could have predicted just how high he would climb. By 1979, fate intervened in a way that seemed almost destined. The Mexican Central League was absorbed into the expanded Mexican League, automatically elevating Valenzuela, then just 18 years old, to the AAA level. That season, pitching for the Leones de Yucatan, Valenzuela further proved his mettle, recording a 10-12 win-loss record, a 2.49 ERA, and 141 strikeouts. His dominance on the mound was turning heads, not just in Mexico, but across the border in Major League Baseball. Scouts began to take notice, with reports of this young left-hander and his uncanny ability to dominate hitters spreading rapidly. Among those paying close attention was Los Angeles Dodgers owner Walter O'Malley, who had long dreamed of finding a Mexican ace pitcher to reflect and connect with the large Latino community in Los Angeles. But Valenzuela's path to the Dodgers wasn't a direct one. In fact, the Dodgers stumbled upon him almost by accident. Dodgers scout Mike Brito was sent to Mexico to evaluate a shortstop named Ali Uscanga. During the game, Valenzuela pitched against Uscanga, initially falling behind in the count before striking him out with 3 consecutive strikes. That single moment changed everything for Brito, who later admitted he forgot all about the shortstop and immediately shifted his focus to the pitcher who would soon become a Dodgers legend. In July 1979, the Dodgers bought out Valenzuela's contract from the Mexican League for $120,000, a significant sum at the time. Though the New York Yankees later offered more money, the Leones honored their original agreement, and Valenzuela officially became a Dodger. The move would prove to be one of the most impactful decisions in the franchise's history. The Dodgers assigned him to the Lodi Dodgers in the High California League, where despite limited action, he posted a stellar 1.13 ERA. Despite his obvious talent, the Dodgers felt Valenzuela still had room to grow. Scout Mike Brito believed Valenzuela needed to develop an off-speed pitch to complement his arsenal. Enter Bobby Castillo, a Dodgers pitcher who taught Valenzuela the screwball, a pitch that would soon become his signature weapon and cement his status as one of the most unique and effective pitchers of his era. In 1980, Valenzuela was promoted to the Double-A San Antonio Dodgers, where he dominated the Texas League with 162 strikeouts and a 13-9 record. His performances made it clear that he was ready for the big leagues. In September of that year, the Dodgers called him up to the majors, where he debuted as a reliever. Despite his limited role, Valenzuela quickly made an impact, pitching 17-3 scoreless innings across 10 games. His clutch performances helped the Dodgers tie for the NL West Division lead, though they ultimately lost a one-game playoff to the Houston Astros. The following season, 1981, was when Fernandomania was born. The Dodgers unexpectedly named Valenzuela as their opening day starter after injuries sidelined other pitchers. Despite his initial disbelief at manager Tommy Lasorda's decision, Valenzuela seized the opportunity. He threw a complete game shutout against the Houston Astros, marking the start of one of the most remarkable rookie seasons in MLB history. Valenzuela began the season with an 8-0 record, including 5 shutouts, 7 complete games, and an astonishing 0.50 ERA. His unique pitching motion, which included a skyward glance at the peak of his windup, captivated fans, as did his mastery of the screwball, a pitch rarely seen in the modern game. As his dominance continued, Valenzuela became a cultural phenomenon. Crowds of fans, particularly from Los Angeles' Latino community, filled stadiums to watch him pitch. His starts became must-see events, with fans and media alike coining the term Fernandomania to describe the frenzy surrounding him. Valenzuela's popularity transcended baseball. His rookie baseball cards were hot commodities. The Dodgers' Spanish-language radio broadcasts saw a massive surge in listeners, and his warm-up routine was accompanied by the ABBA song Fernando. Valenzuela's rookie season was historic in every sense. He became the first player ever to win both the Rookie of the Year and Cy Young awards in the same season. He also led the league in strikeouts, shutouts, and innings pitched. The Dodgers went on to win the World Series that year, with Valenzuela playing a key role in their postseason success. His complete game victory against the New York Yankees in Game 3 of the World Series, achieved with 147 pitches, is still remembered as one of the gutsiest performances in baseball history. Over the next several years, Valenzuela established himself as one of the best pitchers in the game. He was named an All-Star 6 years in a row and consistently ranked among the league leaders in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. In 1986, he recorded a career-high 21 wins and made history during the All-Star game by striking out 5 consecutive batters, tying a record set by the legendary Carl Hubel. Valenzuela's talent wasn't limited to the mound. He was also an excellent hitter for a pitcher, even winning the NL Silver Slugger Award in 1981. Despite his incredible success, Valenzuela's career wasn't without its challenges. By the late 1980s, injuries began to take a toll on his performance. In 1988, he was placed on the disabled list for the first time in his career due to a shoulder injury. Although he returned later that season, he was left off the Dodgers' playoff roster as the team went on to win the World Series. Ever humble, Valenzuela refused to wear the championship ring, stating, "I didn't do anything." Valenzuela's time with the Dodgers ended in 1991 when he was released after struggling in spring training. It was a difficult moment for both Valenzuela and the organization, as he had been a beloved figure in Los Angeles for over a decade. Valenzuela's career continued with stints in Baltimore, Philadelphia, San Diego, and St. Louis, as well as a return to the Mexican League, where he found moments of success but never quite recaptured the dominance of his early years. One of Valenzuela's final triumphs came in 1990 when he threw a no-hitter against the St. Louis Cardinals, just hours after Dave Stewart of the Oakland Athletics had thrown one of his own. It was the first time in modern MLB history that 2 no-hitters were thrown on the same day, a fitting accomplishment for a pitcher whose career was filled with remarkable moments. Though his playing days eventually came to an end, Valenzuela remained deeply connected to baseball and the Dodgers. He transitioned into a successful broadcasting career, becoming a beloved voice for Spanish-speaking fans. His legacy as one of the game's most influential and iconic figures continues to inspire generations of players and fans, particularly within the Latino community, who saw in him a hero and a symbol of what was possible. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. Make sure to subscribe to Baseball Icon so that you never miss an update. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check this one out too.